Well, hey there, fellow nerds and ne'er-do-wells, and welcome back to the Adventurers Anonymous podcast, the home of improvised fantasy fuck-nuggetry. Come join us week by week as a rotating cast of geeks sip cocktails, play Dungeons & Dragons, and seek a glorious death. Now then, you rejoin us this week as Wraggy, Matt, and Chris all come together to continue in our adventures in the last leg of this campaign. So, without further ado, grab yourself a drink, pull your chair closer to the fire, and come join us for this week's episode of the Adventurers Anonymous podcast. Please enjoy.
There's a podcast special in Sheffield coming up. Have you guys seen?
You shut the fuck. Why aren't we on it?
Well, motherfuck me.
I know. Alice Levine and them porno people are coming. Other people from notable podcasts. It's a thing.
Right, we're picketing the event. We're literally going to be outside just handing out fucking flyers. I don't even care if we're relevant to the listenership.
First, we'd have to print some flyers.
No, that's okay. Avril Latrine and the porno people are in.
Avril Latrine?
Is that what I said? Sorry. You know who I mean.
Jesus Christ.
I'm very happy.
Sorry. No, don't be Popeying. What the fuck is it? What's in your wine? You've been like crumbling crystal meth into your wine. Well, look, I can welcome you all to the podcast. I'm going to say welcome to Matt Durrant to the podcast. You are looking sauna fresh. I was commenting on how smooth Matt's face is. It's almost like we're sponsored by a razor company.
Oh yeah, I need that. What company should I go to?
Rusty's Razors.
Can't we get sponsored?
Yo, which one are we sponsored by, Matt? Come on.
Harry's? That's one, isn't it? They do the sponsors.
Oh yeah, they're like a ship out, ship in kind of thing. Give me my razors. Don't leave the house. They're the ones where they're like the subscriptions. Like we'll send you one a week. Every day we'll send you a razor.
Yeah. I like my razors to be thrown lopsidedly through my bedroom window while I'm trying to sleep.
I mean, the only time I want someone to post fucking razor blades through my letterbox is if they're threatening me for some payment that I haven't made.
Fucking noted.
I'm wondering what Matt Durrant is doing here.
Just trying to see if we can get sponsored by Barbasol.
Woo!
They already sponsor Major League Fishing.
By who now?
Disc golf. And
Seems like they got a gap in their sponsorship.
yeah, they need to. Famously hairy D&D players need razors.
Famously hairy. Oh.
Major League Fishers sounds like some sort of TV program about really creepy men trying to pick up people illegally on the internet.
That's Major League Catfishing.
Yeah. Because that's
Major League Fishing is when you send emails to people and try and get them to log in.
No cats involved.
Oh, good. And how are you, Mr. Neal? I can see you guzzling on a glass of red wine. What you got there?
I've got a glass of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Ah.
Excellent. I think you've drank the entire cabinet.
It is average.
And did you have that after you ate your jalapenos?
Average.
Yeah, my jalapenos and my burritos and tacos.
Excellent. There goes all the listeners from certain parts of the world.
Adios.
Good. Right, now that we've character assassinated everyone, how are you doing, Mr. Wragg? You okay?
I am wonderful, thank you. Having a great time.
Have you still got the ridiculously big monitor?
Oh mate, I never want to leave it. I don't want to put it up. I want it in my desk forever.
We went and picked up a 42-inch TV from Bradford the other night for Chris Wragg.
Wow.
It's currently in his office.
It's gorgeous.
Why are you buying TVs from the cultural capital of the North?
It's just where I get all my electronics from. Always Bradford. It's just Curry's, but I just love that. I just love that Curry's.
Look, once you find a guy,
Sure.
it's you find a guy you can rely on. You just go back to the same person.
So I had a very specific TV I wanted, and I didn't want to buy it new, so I was on the web.
So, you went to Amazon Crime.
Yeah, it did feel like, oh my god, it was pretty terrifying. Like we went to this building, and like these guys went in. I was like, it was kind of a gross looking building, and then they opened the door to the basement, and next to the door was like a couple of shovels, and I just looked at Chris and like, well,
Wow.
I was just like, yeah, I guess this is just where we die. And I was surprisingly chill about it. I was just like, well, probably not going to do much else, to be fair. We might as well call it now.
you'd already got your Freddo danger money, so
Yeah, I'd
Christ.
had a Freddo that evening, and that felt like a treat.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, if I can die with the taste of Freddo in my mouth, I'm good.
By the way, listeners, Freddo in the United Kingdom is a small chocolate frog and not Chris's pimp. That was the warm taste of chocolate in his mouth and not semen. Just for those who were wondering who Freddo was.
Ugh. That joke worked better when you didn't explain it. I was going to let that one sit and then maybe go back to it later.
Perfect.
Freddo has a tiny chocolate penis. That's all I'll say.
15p ago.
Matt,
15p a pump.
as the teacher of this podcast, Mr. Durrant, do frogs have penises?
Sorry, do what have penises?
Do frogs have penises?
Do frogs have penises?
You're the wisest man on here.
Oh, well, I guess they'd have a cloaca, wouldn't they? This is the one time cloacas are relevant to the podcast. I believe frogs as reptiles.
The one time.
Cue frantic sound of Mr. Durrant Googling.
Frog reproductive system. A review of the reproductive system by Myialtheshtealliac, cited by
A review? 4 out of 5 stars, wouldn't fuck again.
Frogs are both monogamous and polyandrous.
Anyone else worried that Mr. Chris Ragg's vanished?
Yeah, I think he's probably gone to find a frog.
Yes, they have a cloaca. Thank you to Professor Myialtheshtealliac from the University Centro de Investigación en Genética y Ambiente.
Merci beaucoup.
Sure. Yep. That's as good as a sponsor.
my camera just went off for a second, so I missed that. So I just googled frog genitalia, and the first thing is there is no penis. It's the first sentence.
What the fuck was that? What Reddit subthread was that we're trying to take you to? There is no penis.
That's on the wiki. On the wiki, yo.
Wiki.
Dear God.
Just random animals and just being like, this animal, is there a penis? No.
Okay. There's never been a better time for a recap. I'm drawing a line under this fucking biological debacle, and I'm saying we're going to have a recap. Last we left off with our intrepid adventurers, they had found the party somewhat split. Now, if you're up to date with the podcast, you will know that bad things happened. We misplaced Hunnarsh, unfortunately, after a series of poor life choices, and much grieving was done. And this was in the form of Tatty and Barbara walking off into the wilderness to find some solitude and a place for some thinking. And whilst they were doing that, Mr. Durrant did his best impression with Belciar of trying to be the parent, the leader of the Crunkfuckers, and dealing with a lot of pent-up guilt. He also decided to have a final funeral for Hunnarsh, which involved sticking dynamite in him and blowing him up. What he didn't count on was the fact that Hunnarsh had about 6,000 gold coins on him and accidentally killed a few extra villagers along the way, which some would say is unfortunate and some would say is karma. Whilst that was going on, Tatty Bojangles was in the wilderness, or at least several miles away from the adventuring party, and was taking in a spot of reflection by a pond in the forest, just coming to terms with some of the things that had happened and just getting back in touch with Barbara and just, checking in. And the cliffhanger that I know you were all ready for is the noise that he heard by the pond side. As Mr. Bojangles walked to see what all the giggles were about, he looked down into the ripples of the water and he saw, looking back at him, the face of Jerry, Hunnarsh's one-time patron of chaos and evil. And that is where we will pick up with this week's episode. Now, I'm thinking we're going to pick back up with Tatty because that's where we left the cliffhanger, if that's okay.
Let's rock and roll, baby.
Oh, yeah. What I also didn't say was, obviously, Mr. Wragg needed to place himself somewhere, so he placed himself in the mind of a wolf. We got the surprise of Mr. Wragg playing the voice of Barbara, Tatty's pet wolf. So that's a little treat for all of you. Okay, yeah, we pick back up on the pond side in the middle of the woods in the late afternoon, sunlight dappling on the rippling water. You can see a frog leaping off a lily pad. Seems relevant. You can just hear the beautiful forest noise as you look down, Tatty, into the ripples in the water, and you see the slightly distorted face of Jerry, Hunnarsh's one-time patron and sponsor of evil. As you just hear, yes, yes.
Quick point of order. Have I ever seen Jerry before? I know I've spoken to him. Did I actually see him when I did Hunnarsh's performance review? I just want to make sure.
Yes, he was in your dreams. I believe you were at the time asleep on you were asleep in a ship, and he entered your dreams as part of a performance review for Hunnarsh, so you would have seen his face. Now, for the listeners who are not caught up or have never heard of Jerry, or if you're just joining us for the first time for shits and giggles, Jerry is a demon who works for Evil Incorporated, who are the corporate face of evil, orchestrating all the chaos in the world. And Jerry is a bright red demon and wears a pinstripe suit. Now, Tatty, the one thing you'll notice about Jerry in this is you see he's in a very swanky corner office with a great view behind him of some pretty hideous mountains in his little corner office. And you can see he's wearing a very, very fancy looking suit.
I can see he's in his office with a nice horrible view of probably hell. And he's wearing a nice suit. Okay. If I've seen Jerry before in a dream, I probably understand that he's not here in this physical space.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
So I'd probably just say, like, looking at the corner office and his very fancy suit, I'll just be like, well, looks like things worked out for you.
He stares at you. Yes. Yes, I've had an upturn. Business is good in Evil Incorporated. One of my horses came in. As you can see. He spins around and just shows you there's a ficus in the corner, which is looking particularly thirsty. No one waters the plants in hell.
I just kind of gesture to the stuff behind him. I just say, is this all from the chaos that Hunnarsh caused? Or, I mean, I understand you bet on a lot of horses, but is this all from Hunnarsh?
Well, I only groom one pony at a time, actually. But, if I must be honest, I wanted to reach out to you because an opening has arisen. And I saw your fingerprints on the work of Hunnarsh.
Talk to me. What do you got?
Well, for a mover and a shaker like yourself, there might be certain opportunities to further the causes of chaos. And I thought maybe a man like you, with a skill set like you, and a particularly fluid set of morals, might be interested in some of the boons that are available to those who ply their craft for us.
Anyway, we can have this conversation, like, face to face. Can you hop into the material realm? And, I've got this lovely spot by this lake that your face is currently appearing in. Although your office does look quite nice.
Well... Oh, hold on. As he tries to put you on hold, you hear a muffled conversation as you see a demonic secretary walk into the side as he turns from the pond and says, "Yes, Daphne, I will have a flat white with 2 shots of vanilla."
Aye. Even have coffee machines in hell.
Very hushed tones. Not realizing he's unmuted himself. He looks back at you, he's like, "Shit, sorry, I meant to mute that." As you see him scrabbling with a console in front of him.
No, don't worry, don't worry. We have coffee machines in the material plane as well. I'm gonna say, can we have this conversation? Can we have this conversation face to face? You can come here, or if you can send me there, just for a quick visit.
Well, I mean, you're welcome to come here, I suppose. Have you been to hell before?
I can't say that I have. I mean, I assume you have a way for me to travel there and back that's a little bit easier than me dying.
He clicks his fingers, and with a sudden rush, almost like you want to throw up your lunch, you fall out of the air, landing in a plush chair.
Whoa! Oh.
It's very expensive leather. It's the kind of seat that makes that audible farting noise as you land in it. The leather's so expensive. As you stare across the expensive mahogany. It can't be mahogany. Mahogany doesn't exist in this universe. Cedar of Lebanon. You look across the Cedar of Lebanon
Coffee machines are fine, but mahogany, no. No.
I didn't fucking say coffee machines existed. You did.
It's Space Lebanon.
Yeah, Space Lebanon. Yeah.
I apologize, Lebanon. And I don't want to alienate all our listeners. Right, yeah, as you look across the desk, it's a really, really expensive looking desk. It's got that, you can tell it's expensive because it's got those 2 pens sticking out at an angle that look like they're going to blind Jerry if he falls asleep. As you hear an awkward shuffle from the side and you see a diminutive looking demonette secretary in a power suit say, I'm sorry, they don't have flat whites. As Jerry is like, "God damn it, Daphne. Well, then get me an Americano. And maybe one of those bran muffins. I'm feeling constipated today." He looks at you. "Can I get you anything?"
Yeah, just I don't know, just a coffee would be good. I'm going to turn to him and say a coffee would be good, and then I'll kind of like direct my attention to Daphne and just say, "Please," if that's all right.
She looks at you. She's like, "Pour over, filter, latte. Can't offer you a flat white."
Pour over would be good.
Pour over. All right. And she just shuffles off. Jerry looks at you as he's like, "Yes, like I said, there are opportunities, openings for those who wish to embrace the anger, the rage, the violence. The higher I go, the higher you go."
Do I? So I can see, like, I'm in Jerry's office. I can see the landscape of hell behind him, or like out the window, essentially.
Yeah. It's pretty desolate and very hot and arid looking. You look over on the wall and you see a framed sports jersey from Sodom FC. signed by all of the players.
All right, so it's just me and Jerry in this room, right? Like Daphne's left the room to go get coffees.
Yes. You've unfortunately left Barbara behind.
I've left Barbara behind. Yeah, I get that. How far are we? Like, he's sat at his desk and I'm sat at another chair that's like 5-10 feet away, something like that.
Yeah, you're probably like, about that 10
Okay.
feet away, yeah.
I'm going to say, look, I like violence as much as the next guy. Probably as much as Hunnarsh did. But maybe didn't like it as much as he did, but I think I understood in our last hours together that we both had a talent for it. I wouldn't say I enjoy it as much as he does, but I am going to enjoy this, and I'm going to take out my bow and I'm going to shoot him.
Interesting. Okay. I will consider that to be first action initiating combat. So I need you to make me a bow attack, please.
Would you consider Jerry surprised?
This is what I'm saying. I'm gonna roll against this, and I'm gonna see. It's pulling up Jerry's stats. Do. Come on, don't fail me now. Okay. You make your roll, and I'm gonna make my roll to see just how surprised he is, alright?
So what am I rolling?
You're rolling a normal bow attack, yeah? As if you were surprising him.
If I was surprising him, then I get advantage anyway, so do you want me to roll with advantage?
Yeah, you roll with advantage, yeah? I'm perfectly happy with that.
That is a dirty 20 to hit.
Now then, he just rolled a 21 on dexterity. Independently of that, as you are fast, he is preternatural. As you pull your bow out, knock and loose an arrow, he throws his hand up, and by the time the arrow reaches him, it's incinerated into ashes that just scatter across his desk as he's like, I'll have to get Daphne to clean that up. As he just dusts ashes off a very officious looking contract on his desk as he picks it up and just blows arrow ash off it. Listen, I tire of your play antics. I have a counter offer for you.
Go on.
And he pulls out something from underneath the desk, and he puts a long branch of wood, maybe 3.5, 4 foot long, down on the desk. Come and join me, and I have gifts for you.
3-4 foot long piece of wood, did you say?
This is the bow of blood. And he shows you, he picks up the piece of wood, which looks much like just any normal branch. And as he pulls it back, you see it warps into a bow. And where the bowstring and the arrow should be, you see blood flows out of his hand and turns into the string and arrow. And he says, gifts like this couldn't be yours. This bow takes your blood and your sacrifice and turns it into rage and anger as he lets loose, and you just see the ficus explode. It was thirsty, now it's dead. As he's like, the more you sacrifice, the more powerful the damage. And he puts it back down, and you just see the blood vanish from the string and the arrow as he puts the piece of wood, which just looks like a normal branch of any given tree, back on the table. I have gifts beyond your wildest dreams, but only if you join us.
It sounds like you have some kind of agreement in mind. If this is the carrot, then what's the stick? What do you want, Jerry?
I feel like the seeds are already sown in you. What more could I do to you than what you already do to yourself? The guilt you feel for your friend's death, biting, gnawing away at you, niggling in the back of your mind.
Yeah, it's not an unfamiliar feeling. I've had to kill people before. Like I said, I don't particularly enjoy it. So what's the deal?
I have other candidates. You are not the sole interviewee. If you do not take this, others will.
I might be interested. I guess you've probably seen my body count.
He's got a manila dossier with one of those really cool bits of string that twirls around to open it as he untwirls the string, CIA style, and just opens up your file as he takes a clawed finger and leafs through it. Yes. Your talents have come to our attention. 173 confirmed kills.
Title of the episode.
That's not including animals.
Oh no. Including that cow. Oh, I'll never forget about that cow.
He points to a wall, and you see the wall opens up and animates in like a screen as you get a replay of you just frantically milking a cow's udders with your stumpy fingers.
Not that cow. That cow didn't die when I milked it. I mean the one that, like, when I threw the exploding dagger at Skarl and there was that cow in the way. And I was just like, fuck it, it's only a cow.
So many cows.
Ah, I see. As he uses his finger to scrub through the episode, on the screen you see it all like Jarva laughs. He's like, I apologize. So many animals. He accidentally goes to the bit where you crawled past a fatberg in a sewer. As he's like, yes. We've been watching you keenly, Bojangles.
Can I see while he's doing this? I know that the branch bow thing is on the desk. What else can I see in this office?
Like I said, you know, everything that a mid-level corporate wanktard would have in their office. Like a signed football jersey, a half-dead plant, which is now fully dead. You see a cabinet full of really cheap-looking trophies. Looks like some sort of office taekwondo tournament trophy. He's got like a nice sofa to one side that you get the feeling he's slept in a few times. And just a lot of assorted stationery. You hear a small cough as Daphne comes back in and just places a pour over in front of you. And she pushes a bran muffin and an Americano in front of Jerry and just shuffles out.
Thanks, Daphne.
She doesn't say anything.
Okay.
She'd only have a West Country accent if I did it.
Well, yeah. Figures. I can tell you what Tatty wants in this moment. And it's not to make a deal with Jerry. Yeah, I can tell you what Tatty wants to do, and that's to kill Jerry. He doesn't have any illusions about how he himself was responsible for Hunnarsh and all those other people dying. But he did reach out to Jerry to try and get him to stop Hunnarsh from killing people. So he does hold him in some way responsible for not being able to stop some of the carnage. Can I...
Love that noise.
Can I...
By the way, your pour over's getting cold.
In fact, it's probably still on my hand. Can I look down at my ring of 3 wishes?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have to ask me. Yeah, you look down at your ring of 3 wishes, you see the light in it. It's a red ruby, I believe. It's slightly dimmer than it was when you had 3 wishes, as you only have 2 wishes.
It doesn't say I have to speak the spell. Well, speak the wish. It just says that I cast the wish spell.
Oh! Interesting.
I will allow some looking at rules or whatever. if you like. Oh, in fact, I can look at the wish.
It says by simply speaking aloud. The very first line is by speaking aloud.
Okay. So by casting the wish spell, I'm going to speak aloud. Send me and Jerry back to the material plane where he picked me up from and trap him there.
Okay. God, you do love a DM curveball, don't you? Yes. How are we going to play this? Oh, brilliant. Oh, this is meaty. You say that out loud. You see Jerry's eyes go wide. He's halfway through pushing a bran muffin into his face. You almost think that his red, scaly features go a little bit pale for a second, as once again you feel the rush of energy as that horrible, almost nauseous suck as you're pulled through a dimensional portal and dumped back into reality. You splat down on the grass in a very similar position to where you were. As you see opposite you, falling out the air, Jerry, who splashes down into the pond. You hear a kerfuffle and a splash and a choking noise. You hear him kind of like screaming and flapping. I can't swim. As you hear him like splashing and choking. He's like, no.
Is he? I've not really considered how tall Jerry is, especially compared to Tatty, because I've never had to. But like, I do imagine him as just like a little goblin type size thing. Is he like normal? Is he like 6 foot tall?
He's about the same size as a traveling salesman or a PE teacher. Do you know, like people who've got small man syndrome?
Let's not drag traveling salesmen into that category. It's definitely just PE teachers.
All right. Yeah, like, Napoleon syndrome. He's probably 5 foot and change, but not by much. He's like, 5'2", 5'3".
Is he just like flailing around in the pond then?
Well, he's very rapidly realizing it's not as deep as he thought. He did have a particularly fancy set of brogues on, which have now like hit the deck, and he comes splashing out of the water. You see he's holding the branch that he had off his desk.
He's holding the branch.
As he glares at you, as water cascades off his body. You see he's like looking down at his suit. Now his suit, listeners, was not off the rack. That was some couture shit. And you now see that it's like covered in pond water and grime. He stares at you, looks at Barbara, looks at you.
I'm walking over to him if he's in the pond, and I'm gonna cast Zephyr Strike on him. Oh no, wait, I don't need to do that. I am gonna attack him with my hidden blade though. That's definitely gonna happen. I'm definitely gonna try and stab him, especially if he's still writhing around. Let me see. That is a 22 to hit.
22 to hit. Hits.
Okay. I don't think I've used this weapon before, and I need to check. Okay, I need to check something. Oh, this does an extra d6 of sneak attack damage. Shout out to this weapon. Just a great piece of homebrew. Okay. So that's 22 points of damage.
22 points of damage. Okay. As you see the hidden blade fly out of your sleeve and just tear a chunk out of the fabric on Jerry's shoulder. He doesn't really seem to wince in much pain, but the pain he does exude is more for the torn fabric on his couture suit as he looks fully fucked off. At this point, he just flicks the blade away out of himself as it just splashes across and into the pond, sinking under the surface. Have you got anything else you wish to do?
Let me see. Can I do anything? I'm gonna... Fuck it. I am gonna Hunter's Mark him. I should have done that before my attack, but I didn't. And that will cost me dearly. But I am going to Hunter's Mark him. And I'm going to say, you're going to die, motherfucker. You're going to die. You're going to die here in the shit-covered material plane where everything is bad and you don't have your nice office. And even Daphne is not going to care.
Daphne is my wife.
She's your... Daphne is what? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'm joking. Daphne's not his wife.
Oh, I know. But I don't know your wife's name.
He's thinking of slapping you across the face, Will Smith style. You take Daphne's name out of your mouth.
Keep my assistant's name out of your mouth.
Right, is there anything else you're doing? You've Hunter's Marked him, yeah?
What's Barbara doing? I don't have a bonus action to get her to do anything, so I can't really do anything with her this turn.
Mr. Chris Wragg, welcome to this episode. Roll a d20, and Mr. Neal, what does he add for perception?
For perception, let me find out for you.
Rolled.
Come on. Oh, can add my proficiency bonus to any ability check. Okay. So +5 to perception.
I rolled a 15.
Woo!
A 20. So Barbara's noticed what's going on, and she's got her face low to the ground, and she's growling at Jerry as his wet suit drips water.
Yeah, I don't have a bonus action to direct her to do anything this turn, but I might ask her to get in the mix.
You see Jerry on his turn is going to reach out a hand towards you, Tatty, and he is going to cast Command on you. And he is going to say the word flee.
Is that a wisdom saving throw, did you say?
Yeah. DC 18.
That's a nat 1.
He reaches out a hand and just utters the word flee. As just a real horrible nauseousness just washes over you, almost like a greasiness in your consciousness, and where you were so angry and where you were so sure and so confident, it crumbles like a cheap biscuit in a warm mug of tea. And all you feel is your weakness and your inadequacies as your legs almost turn on you and you start legging it off into the shrubs.
I spend my turn running away, which is my movement, action, and bonus action, because I've got rogue shit that lets me dash as a bonus action, and I'm a nice, honest person. That means I run 75 feet away from him. That's my whole next turn.
You run off, hot-tailing it into the shrub. You don't even look back. You're so sure of your purpose to flee. Almost the frustration that your muscles are betraying your mind as you flee. What happens on Jerry's turn is he looks down at the growling form of Barbara. He just says, "So long. I presume your master does not wish to take us up on our offer." As he casts plane shift on himself.
Did the wish spell not trap him on this plane?
Oh, did you say trap him on this plane?
I believe that was the wording.
Shit. As he goes down to a dot and then just reappears 6 foot above himself and just goes back onto the deck. Fucking celestial magic.
Fucking rings.
Picks himself back up out of the pond and dusts himself off.
Okay, from 75 feet away, because I believe command only lasts for a turn, I'm going to start moving back towards him, and I'm going to just try and put an arrow in him.
Okay.
Is there anything else I can do with this? Can I use my ice arrow when I attack? So this does 1d6 extra damage anyway, but I'll see if I hit anyway. So that is a 22 to hit.
Hits.
That is 32 damage. 6 of that is cold damage, and he needs to make a Constitution saving throw. DC 13. Those are some wild rolls.
Oh, meets it, beats it, baby. 13, bang on.
Ay, ay, ay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. He can have that. And... don't think I can do anything else. I think I'm going to... No, I don't have a bonus action left, so I can't do anything else. Yeah, I'm just walking towards him as I plink an arrow at him.
As you see the arrow embed into his jacket, another rip opening up. You see it wound him. Not as much as you might think it would, but yes, it's wounded him. As he just flicks the arrow away off himself, angry at another tear in his suit. It is now his turn. You see him reach into the water, pick up the bough of wood that was the blood bow, and you see him pull it back as you see blood. You see it seeping out of the wounds you've inflicted on him, coming out of the holes in his jacket. You see it seeping out of his eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and palm of his hand as it forms into the string of the bow, as the branch, the bough, just twists into the curve of a bow, and you see an arrow aimed at you. So you have made your choice. As he looses the arrow.
I'll shout, "Yep!"
Fuck, son.
Nat 20?
That's a nat 20. Oh dear.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Can you imagine if we lost another one of the pie?
Oh dear, on many levels, listeners. Fuckity fuck, 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 fuck. But dem rules be dem rules. Ah, shit.
Rules are rules, baby. Roll that damage.
Okay. Let me roll some damage and then double the dice component. Oh, fuck me in the arse. That's not good. Oh, no, but you did start this, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started this twice. But now we're not in his house anymore. It's Jerry's world, baby. We just live in it.
Oh dear, that's not good at all. All told, that is 38 points of damage.
Cool. I will use my reaction to uncanny dodge that and cut it in half. So that's 19, I think.
Okay. As the arrow slams into you, you're thrown backwards, just dancing off the floor. You just bounce along the grass. As you look at where the hard arrow should be, you just see the hole in your chest.
Oh.
Blood gouting out of it. You feel one of your lungs is slightly harder to breathe than before.
Okay. That sucked. Thank God for uncanny dodge. And thank God for that short rest. Okay. Actually, I need to make a concentration check on my hunter's mark. So that took 19 damage, so I need to make a DC 10, I think, Constitution saving throw. Oh, thank God. I got a 10 exactly.
So you hold up your hunter's mark.
Hold concentration.
Despite the spectral arrow that smashed you about 5 foot backwards, you managed to keep your concentration.
Okay. How far away am I from him now that I've been knocked back a little bit?
Let's say 80 feet.
Okay. I think I'm going to go for one more at least. I'm going to pick myself up off the floor. I'm going to fire at him again. This time...
It's personal.
Yeah, this time it's personal. All my cool shit is fire, and I don't like that. Not when he's a devil. Demon, whatever. I'll use the poison arrow this time, and I'll try and put one in him.
Okay.
Come on, give me a nat 20. Come on. It's not a nat 20, but it is a 25.
Not a nat 20, but it is a 25. Yeah, definitely beats his armor class.
24 damage, and he needs to make a DC 12 dexterity saving throw.
DC 12 dexterity saving throw. DC 12 dexterity saving throw. Easily. Yep. Smashes that. He got 16 dex.
He will take 2 poison damage.
So again, you see him hit by that as he's like, "Whoa!" As he doubles over, holding himself. He's now really pissed off. You've now, you shot through his tie, and it was a nice tie. It had a herringbone design on it. He pulls the arrow out of it and just sighs.
It's now got poison on it, which it's not gonna come out easy.
He tries to smear the poison off, and he's just rubbing it all over his tie. I tire of these games. As you see, he's looking slightly disheveled and very pissed off. Is it his turn?
His turn, yeah.
You see him stare at you for a while, just giving you panoramic shit eye. He holds your gaze in that really piercing, knowing, angry way. He's not happy at all, and he knows he's trapped. As he slowly reaches up a finger, clicks his finger, and casts invisibility on himself.
Cool.
As you see him out of this dimension. No, I lie. He hasn't vanished out of this dimension. He's just invisible. He's still in this plane of existence. You just can't see him. That doesn't mean you can't track him. That just means you currently can't see him at 80 feet away. And that is where we are going to pause this part of the fight. This fight isn't over, listeners. This fight is far from not over. And I will be the first person to say I did not see this fight coming. I never really envisaged Jerry getting into combat as much as I knew who he was and what he could do. That was a curveball, listeners.
Welcome to the fight.
You are so fucking lucky the way he rolled on that blood bow arrow when he got a natural 20. There's a universe where if you didn't have uncanny dodge, you were dead. Dead.
Oh,
dead.
Easily.
That's why they call it uncanny dodge.
That's why they call me Tatty, uncanny dodge, Bojangles.
That is wild. I genuinely cannot believe what we are listening to here. That is actually so fucking cool. It's actually giving me the kind of I've got the shakes a little bit there. And I was like, fuck. There's some NPCs that you just don't fight. Yeah, you got him on the lam. You got him on the run. You got him a little bit scared. That's not to say next time we pick up with you, Tatty, that you're not just going to use your tracking skills and hunt him down, but you got a job on your hands.
I've got a ripcord I can pull, potentially. Hopefully.
Don't play with yourself in public. It's demeaning.
Ah!
I genuinely can't believe you uttered the words trap him on this plane as well. That's something. I can't believe I tried to use plane shift as well. That reminded me a bit of that. Do you know that scene in Ragnarok, is it? Where Loki just falls out the sky and he's like, I have been falling for 20 minutes.
It would be funny if Jerry kept trying to use plane shift and he just kept doing that, just kept falling from like 6 foot.
Just a portal opens underneath him as he falls, as one opens above, as he just splats back into the pond. He's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Well, there you go, listeners. That's where we're going to pause this week's episode. We will pick back up with the adventures of Tatty and Jerry very, very soon. But in the meantime, we wish you a good week. It is a goodbye from Mr. Chris Neal.
Yes. Yes.
It's a goodbye from Mr. Chris Wragg, who voiced at least 3 woofs in that episode.
Woof woof. Bye.
Bow wow, baby. Bow wow.
The energy. You can't teach that. He went to Juilliard to learn that shit.
A little less is more.
Fresh from the sauna. It is a goodbye from Mr. Matt Durrant, who, at the moment hasn't got a great deal to do.
Thank you for having me.
Wow. There we go, listeners. We'll be back next week for more fun-packed fantasy fuck nuggetry. See you soon.